So I wanted to bring out some tips of how I save money and how I'm able to eat relatively healthy for the most part. To set a budget, have so much that you want to spend a month, and then find a store or a grocery store or wherever that has almost everything that you would possibly buy, so you can go and do a monthly shop, and then you have a little money left over for things you constantly have to keep purchasing every week or every 2 weeks, like milk and whatnot. But it's good to find that one store that you trust that's always going to have the good prices, the good produce, along with the good prices, and just a grocery store you can rely on and that you feel comfortable. Another thing is, it bugs me so bad when I see this in grocery stores or just in stores in general that carry food, is you'll pass that one person in the frozen aisle or in one of the middle aisles where they're just piling on all the processed frozen foods, and their cart is full of all of it. Now, I will admit that I do occasionally eat some of the processed foods, like the noodle packs, or frozen pizza, or jalapeno poppers, stuff like that. Once in a blue moon, me and my husband will crave it and we'll want something like that. But if you think about, if you added all that in a cart along with the soda, the chips, the candy, all that together, you could buy a lot of vegetables and meat and rice and potatoes, all those good things that you can make a nice little healthy meal. It just blows my mind when I see people, that buy all this stuff and then they say they can't afford to eat healthy, or they can't afford, good foods. It doesn't make sense to me, because I'm like, if you didn't buy all this, you could buy, put it towards all the good fruits and vegetables that they have. Another thing is making your own meals. I know that there's people who, they're limited time and whatnot, or you just don't really know how to cook or what to cook. There's a lot of videos out today which are great for those who just need a little help. There's great recipes, there's all kinds of stuff that we can go buy on the internet today. So a great one that you can kind of get some good recipes for some homemade stuff without going too much out of your budget is Laura Vitale. She has some really good recipes and videos on how to make some homemade good food. Look up what you can make. You can also make a list, look up some recipes that you want to get, and then write them down, and then when you go to the grocery store you can pick up those items, so then you'll have already your set meals. I know that sometimes helps people. Buying seasonally. So say if you want to buy apples, it's okay to buy them if they have them in the grocery store on sale, whatnot. But it also helps to have it when they're in season, like in the fall, because you'll get more for less. Same with strawberries, same with watermelon, same with all those types of fruits and vegetables. If they're in season, they're going to be on sale, they're going to be cheaper, so you can kind of gear towards that maybe. And then another thing is, sometimes in grocery stores they have bags of fruit already in a pre-packaged, the grocery, the produce area. They will do it for you, and then it has already a printed price on it, a little label. Those are actually I've noticed that they're a little cheaper than when I put my own in a bag, and it'll be the same amount, they look about the same size. So I don't know what the deal is with that, but sometimes that helps out a lot if you get the little bags of fruit. Bananas are super cheap. So that's the one thing where it gets me frustrated, because bananas are so cheap, they're so good for you. You can get a bunch of like 5 or 6 bananas for a little over $1. You know, we usually get 2 or 3 bunches each month, sometimes a little more. So it's only about a little over $4 a month for a like 15 to 20 bananas. It's like actually about 20 bananas, yeah, for about a little over $4. So it's not that expensive. It's pretty inexpensive, even just to like eat bananas. Another thing is don't underestimate frozen foods. There are so many good frozen foods that still have good nutrients, that still are good for you, and a lot of people are like, they're frozen, they're not good for you. You have to realize that canned can be kind of, you know, not that great. I'm not a huge fan of canned. Sometimes those can have less nutrients. They're sitting in water and whatnot. So I wouldn't really recommend canned veggies. Maybe canned fruit isn't so bad. Just make sure you find ones that aren't packed in syrup, because then it's not really that healthy for you. But frozen is very good for you. Make sure it doesn't have any added sugar. It's just your pure fruits and veggies. You can, you know, try different ones out. Some of them can be a little mushy when they unthaw, but for the most part, a lot of them are really good. I love the frozen berries and fruit and stuff. I give it a lot of like the mango ones to Riker, and he likes it a lot. Now, as far as like household items, a good place to shop is like Walmart. I know that a lot of people, you know, might go to some other stores where they're going to spend like a lot. It's not really worth it to go and, you know, go to some high-end store and buy them, because it's something you're constantly repurchasing. If you go to like Walmart or whatnot, you'll get like packs of them for cheaper. There's always clearance or different things like that. Or you can shop around for different prices, like sale prices. Say if you happen to pass a store or whatnot that you know that's having a sale that day, you can check on that. But the biggest thing I wanted to mention is so many people overlook the dollar store and they think, oh, it's $1, it's not that great. But if you think of little things like washcloths that you're constantly using for your dishes and dish towels and things like that, you don't need expensive ones. They get gross, they get disgusting. You're gonna throw them out eventually. They're not gonna last forever. So instead of going to, you know, an expensive store and paying $20 for a couple of them, go to the dollar store, pick out, you know, a couple, and, you know, you're good to go for a while. And then, you know, you can go right back and get more or whatnot. You can pick up 10 of them and they'll last you a lot longer than if you went and paid $20 for like 2 or 3 of them. Usually it always comes in like little packs. It's ridiculous. There's also like little things that you can get as far as cleaning products. I have tried some of the dollar store cleaning stuff, and it actually is not too bad. You just kind of have to pick and choose which one. Like their detergent's not that good. Their fabric softener sheets are actually pretty good. And I actually use one of their like Drano brands, where it's like, you know, for unclogging drains, and it actually worked better than Drano. So, you know, you kind of can figure out which ones work the best and kind of play around with them. They're $1, so, you know, I mean, for the most part, they do pretty good. I even got my cat clippers there, and they work amazing, and, you know, they're nice and sharp and they're good. So you always have to, like, you know, think about those stores a little bit more. Another thing is Amazon. We have Amazon Prime, and it's so worth it. It's a 1 yearly you know, price, and you get free shipping, you get deals, you know, it's so worth it. I get so many products on there, and so many like household items and things that have saved us a ton of money doing it that way. Another thing is thrift stores like Goodwill and overstock stores like Martin's and Ocean State Job Lots. Those are great places to shop to save money. You can not only get food items, but you not at Goodwill. Let me rephrase that. So at overstock stores, you can get things like food that are still, you know, they're the dates are usually still pretty good, but you should always check. So I found food items. I found really nice like clothes. I found shoes. You know, there's so many items like at Martin's and at Ocean State Job Lots. Makeup, you know, you still check the date, but for the most part, you know, they're really good. And those overstock stores are just like, you know, a bunch of items that stores couldn't carry or can have in their stores anymore, so they just give it to them to resell. So that's a good way to save money. And then, of course, Goodwill. People aren't really excited about going there sometimes because it's used items, but I found brand new clothes before. It still had the tag on it. For the most part, a lot of times that I go there, I end up finding something with a tag on it, whether it's for my son, whether it's for me. My husband's still not too keen on getting the clothes, even if I find a brand new item. He might change a little bit because he does like Goodwill now, but he found tons of kitchen items that were barely used. You can tell that they were still practically brand new, you know, so you never know. You always like check and, you know, look, and it's always like a couple dollars for you know, clothing or items or whatnot. So never underestimate thrift stores. Helped me is going natural, and you're probably like, are you serious? Going natural is the most expensive thing ever. Now, that's what I thought, but if you kind of go half-see, if that's what, you know, you want to call it, where you somewhat do natural stuff, but you still kind of, you know, have your items where you just, it's a little bit too much to get all of it all natural. Things like vinegar and baking soda, they're really cheap, really inexpensive. You can get both of them under $4 or so, depending on how much you pay for your vinegar. Baking soda is usually about 98 cents for like a huge thing of it. Sometimes it's a little over $1, depending on where you know you get it. But it lasts me a month, and I wash his diapers in it. I use it to scrub my tub, my sinks. I use it for my flooring, and it's also good if you have kids and pets because it's non-toxic. It's non-toxic for you as well. I do carry bleach, like I said. You know, I have some natural stuff and some not. The only bleach I use is if we have a little bit of mold that I'm having trouble getting rid of, and I'll just like have a window open and everything. But that and just like a little bit in the toilet bowl, and that's it. The outside of the toilet, I use all vinegar and everything. But I think it's great. It saves you money. It lasts a long time, and especially if you're not using them for cloth diapers, it's going to last you more than that 1 month. It's going to last you a month or two. So, I mean, maybe 3 months, depending on, you know, how much you like to really like scrub down. I'm very OCD, so I probably use it a lot more than most people, but you know, it all depends on your preference of how you use it. Another thing is getting some like natural beauty products like Burt's Bees and Physicians Formula. For the most part, they're, you know, completely natural. There is like maybe a percentage or two where it's not natural, but for the most part, they're very good as far as price. They're a little more expensive than your normal like face wash, body wash, you know, and makeup items, but I feel like they last longer. I went through one bottle about this big that was baby wash for my son. It took me a whole year or a little over to finish one bottle, and that's because you only need a little drop of, you know, a little bit of it. You don't need a ton, a crazy amount. It suds up nicely, and it smells really good, like sweet, you know, lavender or something. So it always smells really good. You know what's in it. You know it's safe for your baby. You know, and I use the face wash as well, and that always lasts me a really long time because I only need a little bit. I know when I was getting like Neutrogena and all those other ones, it's probably about a month and a half, maybe a month that they would last, and I would have to go repurchase it. With the Burt's Bees one, I think it's about 3 to 4 months, depending on which one I get, and usually I get like the biggest one for about $7 to $8. So, you know, sometimes it's actually the same prices as what you would normally get for your other face wash or makeup or whatnot, but then it still lasts you longer. So, it's always good to check into stuff like that as well. Another thing is hanging clothes out to dry. I love using my washer and dryer, and of course I still have to use my washer to wash my clothes to hang them out to dry. But and I love having my dryer in case I need it. So I went on to Amazon and I bought a $50 all metal umbrella that you use for your clothes, and it works great. It's all metal. It's really sturdy for I think it was like $52, and it works great. It's like definitely a money saver. I mean, it's 50 bucks, but compared to what you would spend on electricity for your dryer constantly, you know, it's definitely worth it. Of course, I still use my dryer once in a while, but it's definitely something where you can save some money. Another thing is cloth items. Cloth diapers, definitely a money saver. It's $230 something for 35 diapers for through Lovely Pocket Diapers, and compared to a couple thousand a year. But I not only did it for the money, I also did it because there's a lot of chemicals in diapers. You know, that's why it absorbs and gets all that weird, crappy, I don't know, weird stuff in it. So I kind of did it for his health as well. Another thing is I was thinking about going cloth for me. I know that sounds weird, but they have cloth feminine products like pads and whatnot. So I was thinking about actually kind of getting into that. I think that not only for my health, but also for a little extra saving money. So you kind of can look in areas like that as well. Compost, I think, saves you money because you're not using as much trash bags and stuff, which can add up, you know, using a lot of trash bags. I know it's something simple, but it's just like one of those little things that I find, you know, kind of good to do. You know, just collecting a little bit each day or every day in a bucket or a little bowl. Dump it before the night, you know, it's too dark out, and have like your little compost area. You can look up online on how to do it. We have a little section in the woods that we put it in. So even little things like that, doing a compost, and it'll make you feel better about it, and you can maybe make a garden with the compost once it's, you know, turns into soil and everything. Another thing is reuse jars. So if you get jars for like your pickles and all that stuff, clean them out and reuse them. And you can use that for storing like your leftovers, because not only is it healthier for you, you're not getting the BPA and whatnot, but it also is, you know, cheaper because you get it free with your food. So another thing is making wipes. I think that's a huge thing for me as a parent, because not only do diapers rack up if you bought disposables, but also wipes. So what I do is I usually buy a pack of either 2 or a pack of 6 of them, and it usually varies between like $2.90 to about $8 or $9. So I usually end up getting the Brawny, but you can get the Scott version. It's about $2.90 something at Walmart. It's a 2-pack, and they last about 2 to 4 weeks depending on how much, you know, I kind of really need them as far as like how much he goes and whatnot. So the Brawny one I feel like lasts the longest, but if you're on a tight budget, really tight budget, but all I do is I end up just adding a little bit of his Burt's Bees baby wash, so I use that for that, a little bit of coconut oil, and I put it in some hot water and let it kind of lather up and the coconut oil melt, and then I add the folded wipes. I fold them up into like little squares, and I stick them in like a little plastic Tupperware container, and I have like a bunch of them. I'll do like a bunch at one time, and then I'm set for a couple months. So that's another good way. So I really hope that these tips help you. I'm not trying to say, well, you should do this and you should be healthy and all this stuff. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying go ahead and have your chocolate, have your donuts, and, you know, once in a while. you know, I'm not trying to change everyone, like saying you have to do it. I'm just giving you some tips that I think that are good, you know, for saving money, that I've learned. So I hope that you got some good information out of this. I have to go tend to my crazy screaming baby, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye! Don't forget to comment anything about like this video, whether you have more questions, something I've forgotten, or you know, just anything in general. Thumbs up this video and subscribe if you want to see more.